Thank you very much. In early 2012, when the new Board of Supervisors was elected, we were presented with data and statistics of our existing drug court, which had been a pilot program. 81 folks had gone through it. We had approximately 30% of the folks had not had what is called recidivism, meaning they weren't repeat offenders. And of course, at that time, county staff was advocating, because we had to think that we were like at a crossroads. We had to decide whether the pilot program would continue or not continue. And the Board of Supervisors chose not to continue that program at that time. And I have always said that I want to find things that can be successful and truly help people. It was actually, from my understanding, extremely time-consuming for our judges, and we were also short-staffed on judges here in the county, so it made it very difficult. So that was the data that we were given at that time and the choice that we had to make. But I'm more than happy, as I know all of my colleagues on the board now are, to look at programs or a different version of a drug court or that type of thing that could actually be successful and truly help people.
Well, I mean, we've talked about it being a disease. If I have cancer, you guys come and make meals for me, and you take care of me, and I cry on your shoulder and everything else. But if I'm a drug addict, I get, there is such a, we're talking about it as a disease, let's treat it as a disease, not as a criminal act. And I think that the drug court, from what I understood, was a wonderful way for at least 30% of the people to change their lives.
Well, and like I said, from our understanding at the time when the drug court was initiated, the expectations that it was going to be more like 2/3 would be successful. And so when we were given the statistics that it was approximately 30% were successful.
Yeah.
Supervisor for Loudoun County, and my day job is law enforcement in Washington, D.C. And to answer your specific question, the first part of it about the drug court, I heard a lot of good things about the drug court in my campaign, and I know that the drug court works, and it worked. And I know that what Supervisor Volpe said about being very time-consuming for the judges played a role in why it's no longer here. It wasn't the only thing. But I have been in communications recently. I just sent another message to our clerk of the circuit court. I want to meet with him to start discussing the possibility of a future drug court. The difficulty could be finding judges who have the time to be a judge for that drug court. And they also volunteered a lot of their time. I don't think they even received any pay for that. What I can promise you, and I'm only speaking for myself, can't speak on behalf of the full board, but I'm sure that Supervisor Volpe would be interested with me, is that we will have the conversation to look into it, what we can do. And we will have the conversation, hopefully, with some of the judges. I've spoken to Judge Horn, who was one of the judges who was involved with that, and he said it's a wonderful program. It's just really hard on you as the judge. So hopefully we will find some judges as well that are interested in doing something like that. If we could do it, it would be great. Thank you for the question.
And just to finish up briefly before we go on to the next question here, that's why we have a comprehensive effort here, because you have legal violations, you have disease issues, you have rehabilitation, you have treatment. There's a lot of aspects to this, and that's why we're trying to pull all of our resources together and address this from every possible way, because not any one thing works all the time. And so what we're trying to do is find out what works in what circumstance and address it the best we can for every circumstance that we encounter. Thank you for your question, sir. Yes, ma'am.